let's start with the New York Times. What's going on with them? Are they just trying to stir up trouble?
Yeah, I think that they're trying. I think that maybe to some degree, they realize that they covered for Joe Biden for so long, and they have to sort of acknowledge some sort of reality that they actually. It's important to have a president who is mentally there. The problem is that it still comes off as sort of like absurd in the extreme that the same people who spent all this time telling us that Joe Biden was mentally fit are now telling us that Donald Trump is not. I think most voters look at this and they realize what's going on, and they realize that Trump is deeply engaged. And he certainly, and even they know this, that Trump, he manages to occupy their brain space so fully that maybe if he really is a diminished capacity, it says something about their brain capacity.
You know, Emily, even Katie Torres sticking up for the president and his energy. And, when you hear about these overseas trips, everybody is exhausted on the trip, especially coming home, because you hear the president doesn't sleep. He's waking up reporters. He's calling in his people. And there was rumors and reports that on the last trip from Japan, Marco Rubio took another plane home because he didn't want to be on the same plane because he wanted to get some sleep.
He needed to get some rest. Just hearing the president's schedule exhausts me. I genuinely do not know how he does it. And you're right, the press sort of wants their cake and to eat it too. So they want him to have a diminished schedule and a diminished countenance. But the reality is that his public schedule keeps blowing that up. And if he were truly fading or irrelevant, then why does he occupy the A block and the top line of every comedian's presentation and monologue every single night? The reality, too, is that remember when Caitlin Collins complained that his schedule was so grueling, that he was churning out headlines and breaking news so often that the press couldn't keep up. That was the issue. I think what they are saying now is because they're trying to slow him down, because they are truly the literal and figurative drag on his wings. They just can't keep up. But the fact that they covered for Biden that whole time, you're absolutely right. It is so rich that this is someone who has more stamina than all of us. I feel like, is it because he doesn't drink? Is it, right? Is that the machine part?
It's Gutfeld's theory, is that.
Right.
Kat, first of all, David Letterman weighing in. What happened with late night comedians? It used to be funny. They used to be apolitical. Not anymore.
Well, I'm still very funny, thankfully. But can I just say, I don't really understand, or let's just think about how crazy it is that Katie Torres' comments here are making news in the first place. She just said that he was more engaged than Biden. Like, that's not really that big of a compliment. It's not. If I asked somebody like how I did on the show today and they were like, well, you were way more engaged than Biden, I would probably start crying. Like, I would be so offended. And what was not in the video is how she brought this whole thing up. She said, not to get on the bandwagon, but like, girl, get on the wagon. Like, there should have been no other wagon. But this one, with all of us who had eyes and ears who were watching this and looking at it and being able to see this. And I think, like, not to be too dramatic, but I do think that this will be one of those things that I will have to die before I get over. Because it was for how long they were like, not only were they saying he's okay, but all of us who were like, I don't think that looks normal. We were bullies and we were rude and we were conspiracy theorists because we saw this happening and had the guts to say, that doesn't look normal to me. I don't think this man can be president for 4 years.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.